Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, the time is almost here. AJ Lee and Blue Summit are going to be live at the Cascade Theater this Saturday. Yes, this Saturday. It's coming up here soon, November 1st. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I suggest you get them now. They could be sold out. This is an amazing bluegrass band with soul, grit, California charm. They're semi-local. They're from the Santa Cruz area, so don't miss your chance to see AJ Lee and Blue Summit live in concert. Tickets are on sale now, so grab yours today at cascadetheater.org. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that picture of the day today. A pumpkin eater we've got here. I want to thank Brian for sending this photo. He sent the one from yesterday as well. This same buck was just kind of roaming around the property. You see some of the beautiful fall colors there, even on the ground, and saw the pumpkins on the fire pit there and said, I think I'm going to have myself a bit of a snack or maybe just a full-on meal. So it looks like some of that carving, hard work, and, well, unfortunately, got a little bit of damage to that. But obviously worth it, as the deer are probably enjoying this buck. By the way, if you want to share your photos and you want to see them right here on Coffee with Krueger or even on the morning weather update, you can do that by sending them through the free Weather NorCal app, and we'll share them. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And it's that time of the year. We're getting a lot of great fall colors, so we want to see more of those as well. Well, what do you say we get into that deeper dive forecast? But first, the first to say hello this morning is Lisa Stevens saying good morning. Happy Halloween. Jackie Dixon also saying good morning from Trinidad. Well, good morning to you, Jackie, and good morning to you, Lisa, and good morning to you all. You know, we've got above normal highs through the weekend. Perfect weather for trick-or-treating as we go into tomorrow. Not today, obviously, for the trick-or-treating. A change is arriving early to the middle of next week with cooler and possible wet weather. More on that in the deeper dive forecast. But before we get to that, let's just get you through the day today. You're going to notice a few more clouds coming in through the morning and afternoon, but also you'll notice it's another cool start to the day. 28 chilly degrees in Alturas this morning, 33 in Wairika and Susanville. We're talking upper 40s to low 50s for the valley, upper 40s to low 50s for the coast. So this morning, you need a jacket, most likely, a light jacket, at least for the valley, and of course a heavier coat as you get into the higher elevations. Still some patchy fog. I think we're going to see some fog for some of those mountain and inland valleys for Trinity County, and even parts of Siskiyou County, Modoc, Eastern Mountains. But the clouds in general are starting to move in, coming in from the west. And you can see those clouds just approaching right now. So we've got increasing clouds this morning into the afternoon. This is not going to bring us any rainfall, by the way. It's just going to be some added cloud cover, helping to maybe also drop our temperatures down a bit as well. The wind's something really not necessarily to show you because they're going to be fairly calm over the next several days and nothing to be terribly concerned about. Let's talk about chances for rain. And yes, it looks like it's going to be around Tuesday, Wednesday that we will start to see some of those chances for rain begin to increase. But until then, it looks to remain dry for most of us, at least through Monday. So for today, you're talking temperatures in the mid-70s for the valley, 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and upper 50s to about 60 along the coast. Tonight, upper 40s on average for the valley, 30s, 40s for the higher elevations, and mid to upper 40s tonight for the coast. Trick-or-treat forecast for tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., a lot of kids like to get out there early when it's still sunny out, and it will be mainly sunny. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s by the time you're getting into that early trick-or-treating. But by the time the sun sets, we'll drop down to the mid to upper 60s by 7 and 8 o'clock for the valley. Now, your trick-or-treat forecast for the coast, it's still going to be cool. Temperatures in the upper 50s for the early hours of trick-or-treating, but then once we get into 7, 8 o'clock, we're talking low to mid 50s. And obviously looking at cold temperatures for the higher elevations and probably down into the 50s there as well by 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening for the mountains. So yeah, should be fun for the trick-or-treaters and should be dry at least, but a little chilly for some. Here's your 7-day forecast for the valley. You're talking dry conditions with temperatures mid to upper 70s all the way through Sunday. By Monday, we start to see the changes, but nothing big. It's not until Tuesday, Wednesday that I think we'll see our chance for rain. And we're going to talk about in our deeper dive forecast that there's still some discrepancy on the timing, so this is something we'll have to iron out. Also want to mention Saturday evening, Saturday night, maybe a chance for a sprinkler or light shower for parts of the North Coast and even the inland areas. But otherwise, I think everyone's dry through the weekend and even Monday with that chance for showers come Tuesday, Wednesday. And of course, also looking at much cooler weather at that point in time as well. All right, let's look at your Cruise Quickcast. That's all you needed. Have a great rest of your day. But hey, stick around if you want a bit more detail. We've also got our ag report coming up here in just a bit. And then we'll go into that deeper dive forecast and let you know what to expect with that approaching rain possibly for next week. Main Street Chico, looks like everything is flowing along smoothly there, as well as Highway 99 at Neal Road. I don't see any big changes there. A green light. Go, go, go. Have a good time. Highway 44, Sundial Bridge Drive. Never have motion with this camera, but you can certainly see that it's still quite dark out there. This is just a reminder to go to the camera for the coast, because that is an old image that we are looking at there. Let's take a look at it right now. And there you can see, not a whole lot to see there, just the dark skies and a cobweb sitting on the lens there. This is out looking at Trinidad. It looks like, excuse me, there may be some morning fog out there. I think there's some patchy fog for some of you along the coast here this morning. So just be aware of that. Take it easy. Be ready to hit some of that patchy fog in the morning hours. And there you take a look at this. This is looking out at Bald Hill West, kind of the same situation. You've got those clouds, low clouds and some fog for many of those mountain valleys as well. Today is Thursday. It's our NorCal Ag Report. Last week we talked about the pumpkins over at Julia's Fruit Stand, but Julia's Fruit Stand really is an iconic part of the North State. They've been around for a while. They've got some great history. And there's a really fun name behind the name Julia's Fruit Stand as well. So here is this week's NorCal Ag Report, sponsored by our friends over at Lassen County Nursery. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. You're watching NorCal Ag, sponsored by Lassen County Nursery. Now, we are at Julia's Fruit Stand, and you know, the thing is, you think of Julia's, right? It's been around for 25 years. With me right now, by the way, this is Kathy. She's the owner. Now, Kathy, Julia, what's the story? So she's going to tell us the story of how this fruit stand got its name. Don't mind the traffic. So what happened?
Okay, so 25 years ago, we decided to grow some extra produce, sell the excess on the side of the road. And our last name is Brandt. It didn't have a good ring to it, like Brandt's Fruit Stand. My daughter Julia was one. And we were making signs the night before, and we said, Julia's Fruit Stand has a great ring. And it stuck. But then I had two more daughters, and they weren't very happy, but they have Jane's Garden and Jordan's Peaches.
All right, so that's good. So they got somehow
they have their own
incorporated.
T-shirts.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So that's the story behind Julia's Fruit Stand. Her name is Kathy, and you think, okay, she should be Julia, but all right. So now we know the full story. So how did you start? How did it all start?
So literally, we farm for a living. We farm walnuts and prunes, and my husband just planted a huge garden and just said, we have too much. Let's try to sell it. And so our daughter Julia, we said, we'll do it for college fund for her.
Wow.
And so that's how it started. In the beginning, there were 3 of us that ran it, 7 days a week. And then it just grew and grew and grew. Now we have 30 part-time employees in the stand and about 10 full-time pickers. So it's grown to be a pretty good operation. We used to do 14 farmers markets a week, but this year we cut down to 8 because of the fuel price and numerous other things.
I see you everywhere. I know.
Yeah.
So you're still making your mark. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It started with the fruit stand up front.
Yes.
Have you grown in acreage, all of that?
Yes, we have. So we started with 0 peaches, and we were just buying peaches from another peach grower. And then now we have 25 acres of peaches and other stone fruit. And our garden has expanded from just a little garden here to about 10 acres about a mile away from here.
So how many acres total do you have?
Total for the fruit stand, about 60.
Wow. So, I mean, that's quite an expansion from just, let's grow some fruit and then eventually just a college fund. And now, right? Yeah. So now this big... Do you have any plans, any future plans, any goals, or is it just kind of like, let's just see where this thing goes?
Yes, I think that we want to get our last daughter through college. Yeah. So it has helped fund, we've gotten 2 of them through. I have a sophomore at University of Florida.
Wow.
So after that...
out-of-state tuition.
Yeah. She's the only one majoring in agriculture, though.
Oh,
so
very good. Maybe she'll take over.
Maybe she'll take over. We're not sure. No, we're just kind of playing it by ear.
That's awesome. That's the way to do it, right? And
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you're enjoying it, and that's
Yes.
really the important part.
Yeah.
And you give back to the community. We see your name all over the place. So we certainly appreciate everything that you do for the community and
Thank
everything
you.
you do here. This is fantastic. Julia's Fruit Stand. Your hours were 7 days a week, right?
7 days a week from Memorial Day to Halloween, so we're almost to the end.
Yeah.
It's been a long 151 days straight, not that I'm counting. But yes, we will close on Halloween, and then we'll sell pumpkins at a very discounted price November 1st and 2nd. And then we'll see everybody back next year.
Let's do this, shall we? So if you want to head on out to Julia's Fruit Stand, be sure to do it before they close.
Yes. Yes,
She's
yes.
like, yes. Yes. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So we'll see you next time for NorCal Ag, sponsored by Lassen County Nursery. Once again, I want to thank Lassen County Nursery for their support of Weather NorCal and sponsoring NorCal Ag Report. Without their ad dollars, we would not be able to do this. We've got Jerry O'Lennon going out there doing reports for me as well. So it's we just really enjoy doing this. And, you know, it was really interesting because over the last year or so, my wife just kept saying, go over to Julia's Fruit Stand. Julia's, you got to do an ag report on Julia's Fruit Stand. And I'm so glad I did finally. Of course, I was able to meet with her, talking about the pumpkins first and foremost. Kathy just, she's great. She's awesome. And, you know, it was so neat to meet one of the owners behind the whole operation, because I think anyone who goes to any, farmers markets or just around town sees the name Julia's Fruit Stand all over the place. So they really have made quite a niche for themselves. They're quite a staple in the community. So it was quite an honor to be able to just kind of be able to get some of her time to really just kind of chat with her and get to know more about her, more about Julia's Fruit Stand. So, if you haven't had a chance to go over that, they really do. She gave me a nice little box of fruit before I left. And one of the things that really stood out to me were the apples that she gave me. They were amazing. So good. So good. So, yeah, check it out. They're on Highway 99, just south of Red Bluff. So you're going to Red Bluff, you're going on Highway 99, and they're a few miles down the road there. And they've got just an amazing fruit stand. And just great staff there as well. So highly recommend heading out there. We got a couple other people checking in this morning. We've got Cindy Brown. Bolivia saying, good morning, Mike. Hope your day is great. Cindy, I hope your day is great as well. We've got Curtis Brown, who checked in this morning as well. He's saying good morning to Mike and everyone. As I mentioned, we also had Jackie Dixon and Lisa Stevens checking in this morning. Well, let's get to our deeper dive forecast. And of course, as you know, Coffee with Krueger is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. How great is that? Wind River Resort. Check it out. All right, let's check out our deeper dive forecast. And I typically like to start with the satellite image because that's typically where the story is. But before we get into that, I thought this was fun. I always encourage you to send those photos in, and Brian has certainly done that. And you can see this is a buck that decided to go ahead and make a snack out of his hard work with the jack-o'-lanterns here on the fire pit. But certainly just kind of a typical fall type of picture, right? Kind of a gray skies. This was taken during kind of a rainy day. It was cool. It was wet. We had those fall colors out there. The buck hanging out, trying to get some of those pumpkins. If you want to share your photos, by the way, it's very easy from the free Weather NorCal app, from your iPhone, from your Android, and you might see them right here on Coffee with Krueger or even my morning update as well. Temperatures right now, hey, big surprise. It's cool out there this morning. You might need that morning coat, even in the valley, but especially in the mountains. And as we typically see those colder spots to the north and east of the valley, but generally 40s out towards Trinity County and out towards the inland areas, in upper 40s to low 50s here for the coast. All right, we're going to take a look at the satellite image here. And what we've got are these clouds off to our west. These clouds are moving slowly to the east, and we're going to start to see those clouds on the increase through the morning hours. Now, this is not going to bring us any rainfall, but it will help to impede those temperatures just a tad. Redding got up to 84 degrees yesterday, but it'll be more like the upper 70s here. It was 84 yesterday. Today, more like the upper 70s. But what I've got my eyes on is the next storm system that's approaching. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have a huge impact, because you can see here, by the time it does get closer to us, we've got some decent rain over parts of the Pacific Northwest, but still dry for Northern California. on Saturday. Now by Saturday evening into Sunday, there you see that cold front really weakens and it just clips Northern California by the time we get into Saturday evening, Saturday night. And then by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, it's well off to our east. So the main impact, what I would say, is that maybe a sprinkle or a light shower for parts of the North Coast, maybe Trinity, maybe Western Siskiyou County come Sunday evening, Sunday night. But few and far between, nothing to write home about. The next thing I've got to watch here is this storm system right here. Now this one's still on Monday, it looks to be well off to our west, but will approach. Could be here as early as Tuesday, mainly for the North Coast. Mainly for Trinity County, Western Siskiyou County. That would be Tuesday with this system right here. But behind that is another system. What just happened? I don't know. I don't know what just happened. But I was talking about this system right here. Let's get you back to it. I think I know what happened. There we go. All right, so that's the system I was talking about. As it approaches. Okay, here we go. This is the updated one. I accidentally put the wrong one in there. All right, so here we are Monday. This is what we were just that last frame we were looking at, but it was zoomed in. But now it's zoomed out to give us some better potential. So once again, this one, here's Monday, November 3rd. So this is next week, Thursday. This could approach on Tuesday, bringing us a chance for some showers for the North Coast, Trinity County, Western Siskiyou County. Okay, but behind that is this storm system. Now, this is the one that I think that's going to bring more widespread rain across the region by the middle of next week. Now, here's the thing. We're still seeing a lot of discrepancy in the long-range forecast models on the overall timing of all of this. But my overall consensus is that by Wednesday of next week, we've got widespread rain across the region. Everyone is seeing a chance for rain in all of Northern California, okay? On either side of that, we could see some as early as Tuesday, as I mentioned, to the west of the valley, north and west of the valley, as early as Tuesday. And then once this storm system passes to our east by Thursday, there may still be some leftover showers on Thursday for everyone as well. So here's the bottom line. If you've got outdoor plans next week, be prepared for the potential for cooler and wetter weather as early as Tuesday, Wednesday, and possibly into Thursday of next week as well. And the Climate Prediction Center is on this. I mean, it's showing us in the wetter than normal conditions here in the long range. The 10-day trend, at least the temperature, is also indicating it because we're in the mid to upper 70s through Sunday, which, by the way, we could see some 80-degree readings come Friday, Halloween day, right? And on Sunday as well. But there's that dip in the temperatures. This is the sign of the potential of that wet weather moving on in as well. All right, so here's your marine forecast. That small craft advisory has been allowed to expire. Winds are dying down. You can see eventually from the south at about 5 to 10 knots. There's your waves, your high and your low tide, and no advisories. All right, so let's take a look at your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Now, for Trinity County, you've got temperatures basically in the mid-70s, low to mid-70s, all the way through Monday. And then there's that drop in the temperatures. So again, across the board, as early as Tuesday, especially for Trinity County, especially for the North Coast and Western Siskiyou County for Tuesday, right? So that's that chance on Tuesday. But I think overall, at least at this point, it looks like Wednesday is going to be the day we see the bulk of the rain over Northern California. 67 for a high today in Miranda, 63 for Red Crest. There's your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast to the north here, about 58 degrees in Fortuna, as well as Hydesville, Ferndale, and 57 degrees out in Rio Dale. Up north, 74 for Willow Creek, 73 in Hoopa, and there's Trinidad, about 60 degrees. 63 degrees in Gas Key, 62 degrees for Smith River, and Orleans, about 71. Your Siskiyou County and neighborhood forecast sponsored by Dignity Health. Highway 96 corridor around 70. Low to mid 60s for the I-5 corridor. And down into Scott Valley, you're talking temperatures in the mid 60s there. 65 for Fort Jones down to Etna, and 66 degrees in Callahan. Your central eastern Siskiyou County, you've got temperatures in the 60s for the most part. Dunsmuir, one of the warmer spots, at about 70 degrees for your daytime high today. And for Modoc County, you're talking mid 60s, give or take. 65 for El Tourist, but 67 in Likely. 60 for Newell and Cedarville, and 65 for Aden. Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 60s, even some 70s for some of the warmer spots there. I think we're mainly dry all the way through Monday, if not even into Tuesday. But places like, Chester, most likely dry Tuesday, as well as Lassen Park. But down to the south, Paradise, you may see a shower as early as say around Tuesday. But Susanville, most likely dry on Tuesday with better chances coming in by Wednesday of next week. Your Valley Neighborhood Forecast is sponsored by Dignity Health. We'll get that out. Temperatures in the mid-70s for your daytime highs. We take a look at that 7-day forecast for Chico. Your Halloween forecast is looking dry and warm, actually. But, of course, by the time the sun is getting closer to setting, it will drop. Those temperatures will drop. Set those clocks back an hour on Sunday. That daylight saving time ends, so we fall back. We put those clocks back 1 hour. 73 degrees for Whiskeytown, 76 for City of Shasta Lake, and 75 in Cottonwood. And there's your 7-day forecast for Redding. There it is. Temperatures up and down, mid to upper 70s, even around 80 by Friday, maybe even Sunday. And by the way, next Tuesday, you got a chance for showers, but also that's the voting day. You need to make sure you vote. A lot of important things that we need to vote on. And it's important that you head on out and vote. Do it. Do it today. All right, there you go. Hey, we got Ruth Sanchez saying thank you so much. We got Jackie Distance saying Julia's sounds like a great place to get your apples for next year's apple pie con. You know what? I think we got them from Julia's this year. I know my wife got the apples, but I'm pretty sure she got them at Julia's. They were amazing. The pie was amazing. You know, what do you know? And then, of course, we also had Cindy Brown checking in as well, Curtis, Jackie, and Lisa Stevens. So thank you all for checking in this morning. That should do it for us. Let's take another quick look at your trick-or-treat forecast. You know, maybe you're heading out with the grandkids or the kids, or maybe you're going out trick-or-treating. I don't know. I don't know who's all watching. You know, it could be someone who's younger who's watching. I don't know. So here is your trick-or-treat forecast for the Valley for tomorrow night. So, you know, I live in an area where we get a lot of trick-or-treaters. And sometimes we get them as early as about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So that's why I started at about that time frame. Temperatures should be somewhere in the low to mid-70s. So it's going to be mild. It's going to be gorgeous. But once that sun sets, you'll notice it's going to feel a little bit chillier out there. Mid-60s by 8 p.m., low 60s by 9 and 10 p.m. Typically at 9 and 10 p.m., that's when you have the high school kids out. Those are the ones that are trying to get that last candy. And that's actually the best time to go, because if you have a lot of leftover candy, you're like, here, take it all. I don't want it left over in the house. So a little advice to even the little kiddos. All right, your trick-or-treat forecast for the coast. Yeah, it's going to be cooler, obviously, but no rain. There may be a little bit of patchy fog and maybe a little bit of drizzle, but overall, it's going to be dry. And for the mountains, cool as well. But there you can see temperatures generally in the 50s, so a little bit on the chilly side when we're talking that forecast. All right, we're going to wrap up the show here this evening. Man, it's Thursday morning. It's morning. Yes, it's morning. What time of the day is it? Is it the morning? Is it the evening? I don't know. What's going on here? But take a look at Soda. Oh man, is that a gorgeous shot? We're going to leave you a few more other photos and shots coming in from Alert, California. This is the PG&E camera. What a beautiful shot. Have a great rest of your day, folks, and we will see you right here for your Friday edition of Coffee with Krueger tomorrow morning. Have a great day.